Buddhism promotes peace, Christianity promotes peace, Taoism promotes peace, Islam promotes peace, Hinduism promotes peace, Communism promotes peace, Nazism promotes peace, and American liberalism promotes peace. But the world doesn't get the peace that it deserves. So what is the problem? Is it because of the idealism, or is it because of the people involved? Yo, what's get up? This is Alvin Jamaran and you're watching a special topic course presenting the teacher as a promoter of peace in the workplace and the community. So stick till the end of the video and don't blink an eye. Way back in ancient times, our ancestors as well as the peoples from different cultures and religion promotes peace around the world. Let's say for example, in Islam, the name of the religion itself derives from the word salam, which means peace. In the scriptures of the Bible, the God of Judaism and Christianity repeated this word peace among the believers and non-believers. In the Sanskrit of Hinduism and Buddhism, it stated that the way to freedom is right meditation. But is the diversity of the culture and the religion truly the hindrance to peace? Do we still feel violence that disrupts our peace in our modern times? Yes sir, in fact, there are two kinds of violence that may inflict on you. You may want to know that, do you? Number one is the direct violence, which is a direct or physical form of violence. So folks, if someone punches you in your pretty face, then that someone has inflicted direct violence on that pretty face. Number two is indirect violence, which is in the form of aggression, cruelty, and any other things related to it. So folks, if someone says something bad at you, treat you unwell, or hurt your loved ones, then that someone inflicts indirect violence on your life.
Well, yeah, we have violence and the peace is still there and the peace process is always good, right?
Well, not really. Because we have two distinctions of peace and right now we're gonna know that. The first distinction of peace is the negative peace, which is a peace process where the violence ceases to exist and the peace is attained. The example of this is World War II and the formation of UN. After the breakout of the World War II started by Adolf Hitler and the German Empire, the Allied forces stopped the war and formed a United Nations, which will promise the nations a borders and a lasting peace and a promise to have their own country. And because of this, the peace is attained. Number two is positive peace, which is a process filled with positive content, such as the restoration of relationship, creation of social system, and many more. The example of this is EDSA Revolution. EDSA Revolution is different because they don't use any violence in the revolution, but instead they march towards the palace and enthrone Cory Aquino as the new president of the Republic of the Philippines. Well, according to Iranologists, there are levels of peace, which are in a distinction of the personal, the social, the national, the international, and the transcendental. Well, what are those? We're gonna know today. The first level is the personal peace. Well, it is regarded as the internal peace. Physically, it is the absence of stress and the peace of mind. Emotionally, peace is experience of letting go of the pain and desire and appreciating the beauty of the life as it is. Mentally speaking, if the task is done and the reflection is done and the waves of worries calm down, then the peace is attained. The second level is the social peace, which is an interpersonal peace. Well, what is this? It is the relationship between people. For example, your family, your crushes, your classmates, your co-workmates, and your peers, and include your neighbor as well. and you want to have a positive relationship with those people, to have a positive peace. Believe me, folks, you don't want to have war in your neighbor, or you don't want to find a bomb in your yard. This kind of relationship will ensure peace with all the peoples around you. The next level is the national peace, which also means the peace in the community. Well, if there's peace in the community, there's a peace throughout the nation, and that is what makes the national peace. Well, what can we consider a peaceful nation? Well, when there is an absence of war, an absence of bombing, an absence of terrorism, an absence of price hike, an absence of rebellion, we can consider that as a peaceful nation. And the government cannot do the job alone. We need the help of the non-government organization, the parliaments, the professionals, and all the peoples involved in our community. And if you are an individual who doesn't care about your nation, then maybe it's time to find a new nation to live in. Because we have an obligation to be in a part and help our community and our nation. The number 4 level is the international peace. And this kind of peace is not done by one country only, but the collaboration of different countries, different cultures, different race, and different ethnicities. And every individual should possess these 5 things to understand and to know the international peace. Number 1 is understanding the global problems, especially the cause and effect of it in our lives. Example of this is the emergence of the World War III, which includes the countries of USA, Russia, China, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Israel, and North Korea. Well, currently we are an ally of United States, and United States is the enemy of North Korea, and we don't want North Korea bombing Philippines just like what Japan did in World War II. We have an obligation and responsibility to know the problems. Number 2 is acquiring skills and solving, especially on how the problem emerges and how can we contribute to the solution to that problem. The example of this is the Israeli and Palestinian conflict. The world is judging Israel, and we kind of know that Israel is bombing Palestine, right? Well, if you know and you have the skill to study the history, you will know that it is not Israel's fault, but it is the Palestinian and the neighboring Arab countries who started the conflict. Number 3 is knowing and living by international standards of human rights. After the World War II, the West and the Europe formed the United Nations and the standards of human rights, gender, and race for the equal existence of all the people. Folks, we need a reality check here. For thousands of years, our ancestors wished for equality and democracy in their land. Well, we have that now in our present times. We should not waste the gift that the countries give to us, but instead let us be responsible and using it. Number 4 is appreciating the cultural diversity. Well, all the cultures are diverse, so is the religion. And no religion should discriminate other religion, and no culture should discriminate other culture. The example of this is the Ifugao people. Well, we're just wearing strap to cover their nakedness. And we should not discriminate them because of their culture, because that is what it is. Another example is Hinduism, the oldest religion of the world. For thousands of years, Hinduism exists peacefully throughout the land. Should we wish for the eradication of Hinduism just because they're worshipping many gods, including animals? Well, certainly not. Because, again, they are peaceful and they deserve to exist in this world. Number 5 is respecting the integrity of the earth. In order to live in peace, we should take care of our earth. No question. Example of this is global warming, the greenhouse effect, the littering of garbages anywhere, we have the responsibility to take care of our mother nature, because it is not our country which will affect the devastating destructions of these garbages, but including all of the people around the world. The next level is a transcendental, which is if you surpass the 4 levels which I've mentioned before. If you have peace in existing with the animals, peace in existing with the plants, peace in existing with the moon, with the stars, with the sea, and everything that is existing around you, that is one application that you are having a transcendental peace. We all know that the teacher is encountering conflicts in her workplace or in his workplace. A conflict with the students, a conflict with co-teacher, a conflict with the parents of the students, and a conflict with the peers. But guess what? We are educated enough, and we have principles that have teach us while we are students, and we should use them in every conflict scenarios. Believe me, you don't want your license to be voided, right? So just be peaceful at all times. So we pretty much covered the special topic calls for this day, and we're about to say goodbye. But before we're gonna do that, let's answer first the reflection that is written in the book. By the way, it is answered by my partner Ashraf Ibrahim. Well, he's not here because he's too busy traveling the world. So let's proceed to the question, shall we? The first reflection is, do we really need peace in education? His answer is, yes, we need peace in education, because if we don't have peace, all the learners and teachers will struggle and the teaching learning process will not occur. His example is classroom management, the assessment, and the evaluation of the students. Next is, what is your reflection and cognitive perspective? His answer is, the peace will happen if the individual has an harmonious skill concept through giving importance to the design of the formative laws in action, especially the society's transformation and change. The next question is, the reflection on effective perspective. His answer is, he'd like to spread the peace through recognition and appreciation to the works of the humanity, like youth progression and social interaction that faces the reality of the future. The last one is the reflection in action. He sees the world of transformable and unstable peace agreement because violence, the remarks, conditional action, and undecided and undetermined reformation of the world. So that pretty much is the reflection for the day, and thank you for watching for this video. If you like it, make sure that you like, subscribe, and leave me a comment letting me know why. And thank you for watching the special topic course for the day. I am Arvin Jamaluddin at your service.